coming up on the February 4th edition of Sports Extra. Sure, these fans are excited, but do the Heels have a home court disadvantage?
It takes a lot of hard work to run as fast as Roy Smith does, but you won't believe how much it took just to walk.
And Carolina Blue kicks fresh on the scene, unless you're Dexter Strickland.
Those stories and more. Sports Extra starts
right now.
From the University of North Carolina School of Journalism and Mass Communication, covering the full range of Tar Heel athletics, this is Sports Extra.
Nothing sweeter than picking up your 900th win as a coach by taking down your biggest rival. Hello and welcome to Sports Extra. I'm Stephanie Magpie.
And I'm Madison Way. Unfortunately for Coach Sylvia Hatchell and the UNC women's basketball team, Sunday's game against Duke wasn't sweet, but left a sour taste in the Heels' mouths.
Duke topped the Tar Heels 84-63, holding UNC to just 19 points in the first half. The Blue Devils, however, were raining down threes. Duke shot 11 for 18 behind the arc, and junior Chloe Wells had a career-high 6 three-pointers. Although it was never a close game, it still had drama, like in this double technical from the first half. Coach Hatchell didn't get number 900, but she said she's more focused on the team's intensity than her own win record.
That like we were intimidated. I hate to say that, but I'm just being honest. We started out like that. I think if maybe we need to go in the gym next door and play some pickup for about 15 or 20 minutes and then come and play the game.
Coach Sylvia Hatchell has the most wins amongst active coaches in women's college basketball and has the third most wins all time. Hatchell's one win behind Jody Conrad, who most recently coached at Texas. And she's 199 wins behind the winningest women's college basketball coach of all time, the legendary Pat Summitt. Summitt has 1,098 wins. Hatchell would need to average 25 wins for 8 more seasons to catch the former Tennessee head coach.
North Carolina has had several alumni play professionally abroad, but one current team member wasn't playing for a club. She plays for her country. Communication is important on any basketball court, and senior forward Krista Gross has mastered communicating in 2 different languages.
Growing up, I spoke nothing but Finnish to my mom and nothing but English to my dad. So I grew up speaking Finnish and English at the same time.
Gross has been taking her language and basketball talents overseas for the past 2 summers to play for the Finnish national team. She's eligible to compete with the team because her mother is Finnish. And while her passion for the game doesn't change when she travels out of this country, the rules do. Gross is known for her vocal defense, a practice the people in Finland frown upon.
They would yell at me for stuff and I just didn't understand, or I got a technical for something. I got a few technicals because here, you know, someone shoots, you're supposed to say shot and box out. Whereas there, if you say shot, it's a technical.
Gross traveled across Europe competing with the national team, but playing for the team meant more than just exploring abroad.
My first game, my whole family was there. My grandparents, cousins, my uncle, my mom was there. And when we lined up for the anthem, I look over and like my whole family's got tears in their eyes. Like it just meant that much to them. And like because it meant that much to them, it was just such a great opportunity for me. I really loved it.
Gross says she'd consider heading back to Finland after graduation, but for now, her jersey still says North Carolina. Gross might not play again for Finland. The senior's considering going to med school.
40 minutes of regulation play wasn't enough time to decide a winner in the UNC men's basketball game Saturday against Virginia Tech. The Heels beat the Hokies 72-60 in overtime behind James Michael McAdoo's 22 points and 10 rebounds. But it was the play of freshman point guard Marcus Page down the stretch that helped the Heels pull away. Page scored this six straight points in overtime, including that three-pointer you saw right there. He then dished a bounce pass to Leslie McDonald for an easy layup to give the Heels a 7-point lead. Coach Roy Williams emphasized the importance of Page's play in overtime.
I've said all along I think he's going to be a really good shooter. He just hadn't done it yet, and I still believe that. But he made some big shots for us, made the free throws, 3 out of 4, I think, from the free throw line. But in the overtime, he was the most important player on the court for us.
The Heels are in action again tomorrow at 7 p.m. They'll take on Wake Forest in the Smith Center. The ACC has been less predictable than usual this season, but basketball fans of all 3 teams in the Triangle have sucked through performances that have fallen below preseason conference predictions.
One explanation for some of the ups and downs, student seeding might give one team a home court disadvantage. Marilyn Payne has the story.
The Smith Center holds almost 22,000 fans. That's bigger than PNC Arena in Raleigh and over twice as big as Cameron Indoor Stadium at Duke. But if you're standing on the court, you might not be able to feel the fan presence as strong here. Rams Club members fill most of the lower level seats. This gives the floor level fans a different look at the Smith Center compared to the college crowds at PNC Arena and Cameron Indoor. But Carolina Fever co-chair Jack Frost says it doesn't mean UNC students aren't actually as involved in games.
Visually, it just makes it look more active.
Duke line monitor Michael Marion argues that it isn't just a visual thing. He says Cameron's crazies are in a league of their own.
Intensely devotional, very passionate, and borderline insane. It's that level of dedication that kind of separates us.
PNC is similar in size to the Dean Dome, with a floor-level ring of students similar to what you'd see at Cameron. NC State sophomore Tucker Cummings feels this gives the Wolfpack a competitive advantage.
You get in there and there's just like so much energy in between everybody.
But Frost defends UNC's fan base. He attributes the difference in atmosphere to tradition, a no-sign rule, and the students spread out.
It's a very passionate fan base. The problem is that the building's so big, and it's very hard to get all the passionate people together.
So which arena has the best fans? That depends on the colors you wear. In Chapel Hill, I'm Marilyn Payne.
The Heels average more than 20,000 fans per conference home game, which is the most in the ACC and about 1,000 more than the second place, which is NC State. UNC has had a long list of legendary coaches, Dean Smith and Frank McGuire to name a couple.
But don't forget about Bill Guthridge. Will Reimer reminds us why Coach Gut deserves to be in such esteemed company.
Coach Guthridge and Dean Smith have never been far apart. Guthridge went to Kansas State, Smith to Kansas.
Our families knew each other. My granddad, Guthridge, was at Pittsburgh State Teachers College in Kansas, and he was the advisor to Dean Smith's mother.
Guthridge served as Smith's assistant for 30 years, helping Smith win the 1982 and 1993 national championships. He had many opportunities to go elsewhere and take a head coaching job, but he never did. I
made the decision then in the late 70s that I would stay here at North Carolina. My family liked it. The players were always great.
He got his opportunity as a head coach in 1997 after Smith retired, making it to the Final Four in 2 out of his 3 seasons as head coach. Guthridge will be inducted into the North Carolina Sports Hall of Fame this May.
I was surprised that I got it, and I don't think I necessarily deserved to.
Well, he deserves to be back with his good friend, Coach Smith, who was inducted more than 30 years ago. In Chapel Hill, I'm Will Reimer.
You can easily make the argument that Guthridge deserves it. As a head coach, he has 80 wins and 28 losses and took 2 of his 3 teams to the Final Four. And Carolina's current legendary coach, Roy Williams, got his start somewhere you wouldn't expect.
He got his first head coach experience right here in Chapel Hill with Carolina's JV basketball program.
Playing Carolina basketball in the Dean Dome isn't just for royalty. UNC's junior varsity program can make some students' dreams come true. After playing 2 years on the JV team, players are eligible to try out for the varsity team. Junior Leary Jones is hopeful for a varsity spot after his performance this season.
Kind of like in a more leader position, and there's a lot more younger guys, and a lot of guys like me and Sasha and other people are returning. You know, it kind of brings a bigger picture in my mind that it might be possible, but I mean, we'll see what happens. It's kind of my motivation, I suppose.
Jones is right to be confident. He tied his career high of 26 points in the game against Massanutten Military Academy. Jones scored again and again and again. Seniors who make the transition to the big leagues are sometimes shocked at the high level of play.
A whole nother level once you make it to the varsity, but everybody's more athletic, faster, stronger. It's just a lot different game.
Even James Michael McAdoo and Bryce Johnson check out the JV team to see who might be an up-and-comer. Keep an eye out for the JV players, because some of them could become our new basketball heroes. In Chapel Hill, I'm Georgia Walker.
You can catch the JV team in action tomorrow at 4 p.m. in the Smith Center.
Hurdler Roy Smith wasn't supposed to be this fast.
In fact, he wasn't supposed to walk. That story after the break.
We don't win unless we work together. It's how we play our best. It's how we survive on the field. Now that same teamwork can save 13 million people
affected by the famine, war, and drought in the Horn of Africa.
Go to this site and forward the facts to everyone you know.
The more people who know,
the more money we can raise.
And the more money we raise,
the more people we can help.
Because saving lives doesn't take a lot.
It just takes a lot of us.
Wow, these are really good.
You act surprised. Practice makes perfect.
You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. There are thousands of teens in foster care who don't need perfection. They need you.
The first day stepping on the court, I couldn't keep up. That motivated me to step up my game. When I reach a goal, I set a new one the next day. And my next goal is to go to college. Mastering the court takes persistence. So does getting into college. I've got what it takes. So do you.
Are you getting this, honey?
Oh, prime time. We are rolling.
All right, Mama's gonna bring it home. Mama's gonna bring it home. Okay.
Come on, watch this guy.
Oh, backwards.
Oh, don't. Oh.
It went into Bob and Carol's yard. Oh, no? Okay, Yeah. Here it goes.
Oh, Mom!
Challenge your kids to be active and eat healthy.
All right, let's see what you can do. Let's go.
They might surprise you.
Let's go.
Search We Can for more ideas on how you and your kids can get healthy together.
Wednesday's an important day for the football team.
It's a time to shore up weaknesses in the depth chart. It's National Signing Day. Greg Webb is the 10th best defensive tackle in the nation, and he could make an immediate impact on the D-line with Sylvester Williams in the NFL. Mitch Trubisky is a dual-threat quarterback. He's the 15th ranked QB in the country. It'll be fun to see him in Fedora's offense in a couple years. Lucas Crowley, the 20th best center in the nation, will add depth to the offensive line. All three of the top recruits are from outside the state of North Carolina. Fedora has the 18th best recruiting class in the nation so far.
Many alumni love coming back to Carolina for football games, but Catherine Fitzgerald meets a 2002 graduate who's experiencing game days in a new way.
After working here as an undergrad, Ryan Mills is now the new recruiting administrative assistant for the football team.
As an undergrad, I was the basketball manager for the JV team for my freshman year. After that, I worked game day operations for the football team for 4 years.
Mills then went on to work at East Carolina University and the University of South Florida under Coach Skip Holtz. In December, she returned to her alma mater.
So far here, it's been helping out the director of operations and other administrators for recruiting weekends. Anything relating to recruiting besides the actual recruiting, I've been able to assist them with. I am most looking forward to the season. That's why we do what we do. So it shows on the field and in the office during the season because that's the best part of our year. My favorite part of working here is just being home, being around football. This is where I'm from. This is where I've always wanted to be. So my favorite part is absolutely just being home, being able to work with and for the university that I love so much. So now that I'm here, I'm not going to leave.
There's nothing quite like working at home. In Chapel Hill, I'm Catherine Fitzgerald.
Well, we'll see how Mills' work has paid off on Wednesday, and you can follow the signing day action on ESPNU.
Playing football and running track might not seem like a big deal, but it's exactly that to wide receiver and hurdler Roy Smith, who once thought he'd never walk again. Julian Caldwell has the story.
In the fall, he returns punts, and in the spring, he clears hurdles. But this might be junior Roy Smith's biggest accomplishment.
But during the 6th grade, I really didn't think of none of those things. I really was thinking was, could I walk again?
That's what a young Roy Smith was thinking after a driver sped through a stop sign and hit him as he was walking to his grandmother's house from cross-country practice.
The car ran over me, and it went like 50 feet, and then it stopped, and then I was laying there. The next thing I know, I was in the hospital. I think I blacked out for a little minute.
Smith's parents homeschooled him for a year and a half after the accident,
because he was embarrassed to go to school in a wheelchair or cast. He cites support from his family and coaches as the reason his discouragement didn't last too long.
I really didn't feel like running track after that no more. And they was like, you have so much talent, you need to keep on going.
And he hasn't stopped, clearing obstacles like he clears hurdles. After 2 years as a scholarship runner, in 2012, Smith tried out and made the football team. And listen to how he compares it to running track.
Football is nothing compared to track. I can get through a football workout, but sometimes I can't get through all my track workouts.
And after having the ability to walk taken from him, he strives to be great at both and to control his own destiny.
I really don't want to be that athlete that's like, oh, he ran track and football. I want someone to say that, oh, he did great in football and track, and he could choose whichever sport that he wants.
And if anything gets in his way, he could probably jump right over it. In Chapel Hill, I'm Julian Caldwell.
Roy Smith and his teammates had a busy weekend. Some of the team was away in New York City, others in Winston-Salem.
The rest were holding it down at home for the Gene Anderson Invitational. At the Invitational, the day truly belonged to the UNC throwers. Freshman Sarah Howard won the women's shot put throw. AJ Hicks took home first in the men's weight throw and finished second in the shot put to Team Chris DiLorenzo, who threw the shot put more than 57 each in his second competition since his ACL surgery. After this performance, Coach Josh Langley is optimistic about the team's chances to compete for a conference title.
We're a young team, but I think we're talented. And I think each week we've seen improvements out of this team, both men and women's team. And all your training is focused towards lining up on that day at the ACC Championships and performing your heart out. And anytime you put on the Carolina blue, it's a special feeling.
The track and field teams will be out of town this weekend, taking part in meets in Washington and Nebraska. What's this Tar Heel teaching this child?
Sports Extra will tell you when we return. Stick with us.
Oh, those boys are much too much. Those boys are much too much. We got the spirit. We're hot. We can't be stopped. We got the spirit. We're hot. We can't be stopped. We're going to beat them and bust them. Beat them.
The smallest moments can have the biggest impact on a child's life.
Let's get a little bit rowdy. R-O-W-D-Y.
Take time to be a dad today.
Oh, those boys are much too much. Those boys.
Thank you for calling your GED Pep Talk Center. All right, now, are you ready for your GED Pep Talk?
Being nervous is okay. It just shows that you're serious about getting your diploma.
A lot of things are scary. Heck, I'm scared of clowns.
No quiero oír. No lo puedo hacer.
DMC, life in your pep talk style.
Just keeping it real, Debs, just keeping it real. Whatever motivation you need, we've got a pep talk for you. Get your GED pep talk and find free classes at yourged.org.
It's easy to tell if you've had way too many. But what if you've had just one too many? Buzz driving is drunk driving.
NFC, AFC, offensive linemen, defensive tackles, quarterbacks, and cornerbacks are all living united to ensure the academic success of millions of kids in our communities all the way to graduation day. But that won't happen without you. So take the pledge at unitedway.org. Make a difference in the life of a child. Suit up like your favorite NFL players and become a volunteer reader, tutor, or mentor with United Way.
Well, two upsets in a row for the men's tennis team, but not the type of upsets the team wants. Saturday, Louisville got the better of the Heels 4 matches to 2. The Cardinals ranked 22 places below Carolina, won the doubles point after taking 2 of 3 tiebreakers, and dominated 3 of the singles matches, winning in straight sets. The Tar Heels are now 3-2 after losing last week to Tennessee. Carolina will host a doubleheader this Saturday, welcoming Navy and James Madison to the Cone-Kenfield Tennis Center.
And it was a fight to the finish at the men's lacrosse scrimmage Saturday against the reigning national champions, the Loyola Greyhounds. Loyola outscored Carolina in the first quarter 4-3, but the offense stepped it up and it was back and forth action in the second and third quarters, with the Tar Heels answering each of the Greyhounds' goals. In the fourth quarter, the Tar Heels finally took the lead for the first time, outscoring the Greyhounds 4-2. Carolina took the win by a final score of 11-10, and head coach Joe Bresci says this win will give the team confidence going into the season. But the Heels still have a lot to work on in practice this week.
Aspect of things, the between the lines, the substitution, we were offsides 2 or 3 times. Some of the things to clean up in the box area I think is big. Just organizing and playing our style, our pace, and not worrying too much about what your opponent's doing.
The Heels open the season this Friday against Air Force at Fetzer Field.
February 6th marks the 27th annual National Girls and Women in Sports Day.
Kiara Palmer reports about how UNC student athletes celebrated Carolina's first-time recognition of the national celebration.
From pizza, autograph posters, shirts, and even a show for women's soccer player Indy Cowie, it was here at Carolina's first celebration of National Girls and Women in Sports Day. Girls, younger and older, some Carolina fans, some not, had the opportunity to meet UNC female student athletes and learn various sports skills.
We wanted to just bring that to North Carolina and had all the young girls come out and just play around with all of our sports teams and have vendors and just promote healthy, active lifestyles.
To help promote active lifestyles, organizers gave the girls a chance to try their hands at rowing, softball, gymnastics, or even field hockey.
They had some of their gear that they play with, and the girls were able to go to each station with their families and play like soccer, volleyball, field hockey. We have goals back there, just interact with the UNC athletes.
Various interactions included one-on-one teaching from players like soccer's Loren Shelley, track and field's Krishawn Williams, and volleyball's Paige Neuenfeld.
I think it's extremely important for girls at an early age to see that they can grow up to be healthy, strong, successful athletes. And not only the ones that they see on TV, but there's a number of sports that don't get a lot of attention, like rowing and field hockey.
And though this year's turnout was good, Morrison's already looking forward to next year.
Bigger the better. This was just our first year, but we're expecting so many more to come out next year.
And maybe one day, some of these girls will be wearing Carolina blue. Reporting in Chapel Hill, I'm Kiara Palmer.
Women have had a much greater opportunity to participate in sports since the passage of Title IX 40 years ago.
Ah, the taste of sweet, sweet revenge. After falling to number 14 Maryland last week, the varsity women's gymnastics teams defeated the Terps in a dual meet rematch Saturday. The Lady Tar Heels outscored their East Atlantic Gymnastics League rival by nearly a full point. Sophomore Haley Watts led the Heels, placing first in the all-around with a score of 39.225. The Lady Tar Heels remain undefeated at home as they head to Washington, D.C. next week to face George Washington University.
Carolina blue is the Tar Heel color, right?
Well, not for every Carolina athlete. We'll have the story next.
A single ember that escapes from a wildfire can travel more than a mile. That single ember can ignite and destroy your home or even your community. You can't control where that ember will land, only what happens when it does. Get Fire Adapted now at fireadapted.org.
So, I got this new family, and I don't know what it is about this one, but she can't seem to put down that toy all day long. Tap, 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 tap. Oh, and she even talks to it. She talks to that more than she talks to him. What's up, bro? Nice shirt. Who's she talking to? Her mom? She talks to her mom a lot.
Get your ass out. You're not sitting here.
Yes, I am.
Move. Give it to him hard.
No.
Every day, kids witness bullying.
Why you stab me with it? No.
They want to help,
Ow.
but don't know how.
Oh,
Teach your kids how to be more than a bystander. Visit stopbullying.gov.
Welcome back. The men's basketball team is in action again this week, hoping to keep showing improvement. Tomorrow, the Heels will take on Wake Forest at 7 p.m. at the Smith Center. Saturday, they'll play at Miami against Hurricanes, who are undefeated in the ACC. The Hurricanes beat the Blue Devils by 27 points just 2 weeks ago and beat Carolina here at home.
When you think of the Carolina basketball team, you think of the Carolina blue jerseys, the white shorts, and the matching shoes. Mike Rodriguez joins us live in the studio to tell us that not everyone got the memo.
I'm sure many people think of national championships, but yes, I like to look sharp while winning, and I pretend to have style. And I don't remember the last time so many players didn't wear Carolina blue shoes.
Senior guard Dexter Strickland has yet to wear shoes with even a hint of Carolina blue on them this season.
One of our assistant coaches actually gets mad at me all the time because I don't wear any of the team Jordans, you know, the other Jordans that the teams wear. But I just like wearing retros. You know, that's just my style, and I'm just running with it this year.
And his younger teammates are following suit. Freshmen Bryce Johnson and J.P. Tokido have started wearing gray sneakers to almost every game. Tokido does it for the looks.
I prefer the gray and the Carolina blue. You may prefer the Carolina blue and white with the Carolina blue and white. You know, it's a different swag. It's a different, you know, it's 2 different levels. That's all it is. I had a good game in them, so I'm kind of a superstitious guy to an extent, so I just kept rolling with it.
While Strickland makes his own personal fashion statement, Coach Roy Williams wants him to focus more on his game than what's on his feet, especially when the game ends in a crushing defeat like the one against NC State.
Everybody in the Carolina uniform had a rough night tonight, and everybody who's wearing sneakers with purple on them had a tough night tonight.
But if Roy is worried about Strickland's performance, he might want to look at the guard's feet. Strickland is averaging more than 10 points a game and nearly 5 assists while wearing navy blue shoes. He has worn white shoes against Boston College and Virginia Tech, but won't give any details about which color his next pair might be. He hasn't ruled out Carolina blue.
I'm trying to get some. I'm trying to work my magic to get some, but like I said, stay tuned. You'll probably see a couple of retros that's Carolina blue.
No matter which color they are, he'll be sure to stand out from the crowd and from his teammates.
He's been wearing those white ones with navy blue trim a lot recently, so I'm going to bank on him wearing those tomorrow against Wake.
Well, that's all good, Mike, but which shoes should Dex keep in the closet?
The black ones and the gray ones, without a doubt. He's averaging just 6.6 points and 4 assists in the black pair. And what guard averages just 2 assists? That's how many Strickland dishes out in the gray shoes. As long as he's wearing the white or the navy blues, he should have a good game.
Well, let's hope he has the whites or the navy blues on tomorrow. That was Mike Rodriguez live in the studio.
After back-to-back double-doubles, sophomore forward James Michael McAdoo earns this week Player of the Week honor. It was tough to choose this week, but McAdoo did have 2 double-doubles, and the Heels beat Boston College and Virginia Tech. He scored 39 points and snagged 20 rebounds in the past 2 games. His 22 points against Virginia Tech were the most he's ever recorded against an ACC opponent. McAdoo was able to boost this season's average up to 15 points and 8 rebounds a game. This is his 8th double-double of the season and 4th in his past 5 games. No surprise, the Heels are 7-1 when McAdoo records a double-double.
Well, today's a special day for 3 Tar Heel athletes. It's their birthdays. Tar Heel guard Leslie McDonald turns 22 today. Former Tar Heel baseball player Tim Fedroff turns 26. Fedroff is currently a member of the Cleveland Indians farm system. And Lawrence Taylor, the original LT, turns 54 today.
Well, that does it for this edition, but before we go, Madison, did you catch the Super Bowl yesterday?
I did catch the Super Bowl. I was not really cheering for either team. I'm a Falcons fan. I'm still a little bitter, but I watched. Did you?
Yeah, I feel you. I'm a Redskins fan, but I decided to go for the Ravens just because I didn't want the 49ers to win, being from Maryland and all. Did you catch Beyonce's performance?
I did catch Beyonce, the true winner of the Super Bowl, Beyonce. So
a little birdie told me that if you go and follow Sports Extra on Twitter, you might see what those of us here at Sports Extra have to as our best impression of Beyonce. But
best is a generous way of saying it.
Thanks for watching.
Good night.